Okay. Good morning or afternoon, depending on if you're Central or East Coast and you haven't adjusted yet. We're all going to go back. When we started coming up with this presentation, we really liked this image and trying to figure out what to do with it. We were talking about whether to do dining, whether to do wellness, but we decided on turnover, with it being a turnover. True or false, turnover has significant impact on your bottom line. True? How much? How much? A lot? There's stats out there that show that when an employee turns over, it's going to cost your community 2 to 3 times what their monthly salary is. So if we're talking about an $8 employee, that's a $2,700 to $3,500 expense to your organization. What do you think that means if they make $15 an hour or $25 an hour or more skilled or in leadership or management positions? You have direct costs, vacation payouts, separation pay. You're paying things out after they're gone. They're not bringing you any value at all, but you're continuing to pay. That doesn't make sense. More direct costs, advertising, recruiting fees for new employees. You're continuing to pay unemployment. You've got to pay overtime for people to fill the gaps sometimes. You have indirect costs. Somebody has to manage all the paperwork and manage all the separation of this. You have lost productivity. What's not happening while these people are gone, and who's having to fill the space and the time to do it? How does that impact your employee morale? Sometimes turnover is good. Most of the time it's not. And you're losing a ton of experience and knowledge when people leave, and that all costs money. But probably the biggest expense to your community is the impact it can have on your residents. People like stability and consistency, and you're continuing to have turnover. You're not giving that to your residents. And how many bad experiences is it going to take before someone starts looking at things a little more closely to see what kind of experience they're having in your communities? So the big scary question is, why is this happening? And if you're going to ask yourself why, you have to be prepared to follow through on what you find out. Is it bad hiring decisions? Are you just going through the motions when you're recruiting and hiring people? Your new hire orientation, are you intentional about bringing them on? What's your training like? If you're looking for quality people, are you supporting them moving further? When you're bringing them on and you're promising all these things, do your working conditions and your culture support that? Quality people want opportunities for advancement and they want more. Are you putting them in a position to get that? A lot of this has to do with the attitudes of your managers. How do they feel about turnover? Are they hiring for short-term need instead of looking at the big picture? Are they talking about they're not having time to train, the budgets are low? Our managers and leaders' attitudes about this make a significant difference in how we approach this. You need to look at different trends. Evaluate positions, department, length of service. Take a look at other communities to see how they're doing things, communities that are successful. Seek feedback from your employees. Are you doing exit interviews? Are you asking the tough questions during exit interviews? And are you doing employee surveys? And if you are you doing anything with them once you have the information? You can ask those questions all day long. Are you implementing change once you find out what the change is? So how do you fix it? Accountability, accountability, accountability. And it starts with your management and leadership. Clear roles, clear goals. Are you measuring how they're meeting the expectations? You need to evaluate your recruiting and hiring processes. Are you being intentional with it? Are you utilizing things like behavioral interviewing? Are you hiring for the long term and the fit and the strategy versus the short term? So that's a big process of it, of the recruiting and the hiring and the orientation. You know, how are you setting things up prior to their start? What's the involvement of other employees and managers? How are you setting them up for success? A great strategy is to create a mentor and buddy system with more experienced individuals in the community. It gives both individuals, the new and the more experienced, meaning as they move forward in the relationship. And at the end of the day, you want results. You want people to be satisfied and happy. You want your employees to be satisfied and happy. But most importantly, you want your residents to be satisfied and happy. If you want to learn more about how to do this, come see us at booth 1212. We're Merit Senior Living, and we're right over there. Thank you.